All right, education. So everyone received education. Everyone was taught about religious rituals, learned songs and dancing and music. And so a lot of the traditions were passed this way from one generation to the next. And a lot of the information in the schools was passed through stories. Now you had different schools for nobles and the commoners. And everyone was schooled from early teens until they were married. Boys and girls went to different schools. Boys learned occupational skills, history, religion, how to be a good citizen, and a lot of emphasis on learning how to be a warrior. Girls learned to manage household and uh, things like spinning and weaving, taught morality, also taught history and religion, and taught a lot of the traditions of their society. Now, as we get into Aztec politics, right, your emperor was elected by the Council of Wise Men. These are your top priests and warriors, and represented Huitzilopochtli. Now, you would often go with the son of the previous empire, but it wasn't always the son. It wasn't always the firstborn son. At this point, if the emperor had lived a long life, his sons may be, full-grown adults at this point, and the council may be well aware that, one son was a skilled warrior and leader, and the other was not, and so they could pick from amongst all the sons of the previous emperor. And if none of the sons of the previous emperor were particularly promising, they could go to a nephew or some other relative. Now, example of a skilled emperor is Montezuma II. He became emperor in 1502. This is our best known Aztec ruler as far as history goes. He conquered many cities. He believed, that everything in the world was dependent on the will of the gods. He's very religious. Believed, stories and legends about gods, omens, prophecies. And so, the early part of his reign, very effective, conquered lots of territory. Hold on. But in the later part of his reign, starts to get a little bit paranoid about some of these omens and prophecies. Okay. Now we talk about economics for the Aztec. Agriculture, they were agricultural powerhouse. With irrigation and dikes, they had improved productivity. And the real amazing thing about Aztec agriculture was their chinampas. And these are some of the best, most productive agricultural works in human history. So these floating gardens, they provided, well over half of the food for the Aztecs. They could provide enough food that they were able to, have a large portion of their population as full-time warriors. Right? They had a very large fighting force because, comparatively less manpower was needed to maintain, their food supply. So the emperor supported Tenochtitlan and the Triple Alliance by collecting tributes. Tributes could be military service, food, natural resources, luxury items. We see here, this is Aztec artwork showing various of the luxuries coming in: feathers, animal skins, tortoise shells, jade, etc., etc. And so, because you constantly had tributes moving throughout the empire, you had trade going throughout the empire as well. People were always moving around and selling things and bringing things back to Tenochtitlan. And so the Pochteca, the marketplace, this is where people could buy and sell and trade goods and services. You could have spies go to, the marketplace of an enemy city, talk about things, trade, and then come back and report to the emperor. You could get finished goods, you could get raw materials to make clothing and jewelry for the nobility, lots of food on sale, very vibrant trading